The investigation has been dubbed Project Recover after guns were stolen from a Cambridge residence mid-February. Police have recovered 25 out of the 28 guns that were taken, as well as quantities of drugs and money, which you're seeing here. On top of the 25 guns, over 14,000 rounds of ammo, close to $29,000 in cash, and an estimated $852,000 in drugs have been seized over a number of searches. The drugs seized include 10 kilograms of cocaine, 118 pounds of dried marijuana, as well as 160 marijuana plants, 4 ounces of crystal methamphetamine, 2 vials of hash oil, and 31 pills of ecstasy. Inspector Greg Lamport with more.
The original investigation commenced on February 16th, at which time 28 weapons were stolen, or firearms were stolen. As a result of that, South Division detectives began the investigation, then solicited the assistance of our anti-violence strategy team out of our strategic and tactical division. And as a result of that, we have tracked down 25 of the guns that were stolen.
And in the process of that, you uncovered all this other stuff?
Yeah, the most recent information is that the arrest of Frank Strauss, 36-year-old from Tavistock, Ontario, who is also connected to the Hells Angels organized crime group, and the charges related to that investigation and subsequent search warrants that were conducted on his investigation have revealed more of the guns, and also additional items were seized, those being the drugs that are before you, and which was a substantial amount, plus the over $29,000 or close to $29,000 in cash.
Is he the only one who's alleged to be a member of the Hells Angels?
The only connection is Frank Strauss at this time. That's yes.
This is a pretty substantial haul. How would you describe it?
Overall, we're very pleased as an organization to have made this discovery through extensive work by our investigators, and it is a substantial amount of drugs, weapons, and also cash that has been seized.
Can you say any more about the organized crime aspect of it?
Specifically,
well, you were saying investigators uncovered the illegal drugs and firearms activities connected to organized crime.
It's the connection through the arrest of Mr. Strauss.
So the trafficking part of it is? The
trafficking in the firearms, the possession of the weapons, possession of the drugs, and possession of proceeds of crime being the possibility of the cash being connected to the offenses.
I don't know if you can answer this or not, but how big of a problem are the Hells Angels in our area right now?
Actually, I have no problem. Rob, you prepared to answer that? Sergeant Gibson is within our biker enforcement unit. The question being, how prevalent are the Hells Angels within our region and externally?
Within our region, the Kitchener chapter of the Hells Angels, it's one of the largest chapters in Ontario by numbers, size. So we're constantly keeping sort of a vigil on what happens there. Also within our region, we have a number of residents here who are members of other chapters as far away as Windsor, Toronto area also, that reside here, and we monitor them as part of the biker enforcement unit strategy.
Can you put a number on how many of them are?
No.
The bikers that are part of the Hells Angels locally, did they transition into Hells Angels? I understood that they
yes,
were other groups, the Henchmen, or
it was actually
Satan's Choice.
Satan's Choice in year 2000. They patched over to the Hells Angels, and since that time they've been constantly recruiting. Some of the other groups have also gone into the Hells Angels or become members of them over time.
I'm curious to know whether the seizing of some of these weapons, whether or not they can then ID other, or could they have been used in other crimes, other shootings, or that kind of thing? By grabbing these weapons, will it help possibly on the road to solve other crimes?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think it's fair to say that the weapons were destined to be moved on, sold. And because wouldn't have been registered or anything like that, it's hard to say. It would be speculation of what they would be used for, but they certainly would have been moved on sold and gone out into the community in some fashion or another. So that's fair to say.
Is there any indication that the remaining 3 firearms have been in fact sold as
I
moved on?
have no information on that whatsoever. Can't comment on that.
Throughout the investigation, there were numerous search warrants that were conducted. So what you're seeing before you is as a result of those search warrants throughout the time frame leading from February 16th until today.